Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dig into something a little interesting here. We all know Fanatics has bought MLB licenses and they purchased Topps, but there's quite a few things that they've done under the radar to build their brand and to further develop their product. And I'm going to go through 5 of those and discuss those in detail to you. So let's get to it. Is Fanatics quietly moving towards controlling grading and authentication? Now this is subtle, but could be huge in the long run. No, Fanatics hasn't bought PSA or BGS, SGC, any of those guys. But in 2023 and 2024, they did have some job listings pop up for grading and quality control positions at the Fanatics trading card division. If Fanatics can control authentication from the moment a card is printed to when it's sold, then what's the need for a third-party grader? Imagine ripping a Bowman Chrome Auto, scanning it from your phone, and seeing a Fanatics certified chain of custody. Would that be a game changer for you? Just realize this isn't about grading. It's actually about maybe controlling the entire life cycle of a card. Did you know that Fanatics was quietly tinkering with the backbone of the hobby, the distribution end? Traditionally the product goes from the manufacturer down to the distributor, to your local hobby shop, and then to you as a collector. That middle layer, the distributors, they've been there for decades. But in 2024, several shop owners started mentioning they were invited into a Fanatics Direct pilot program. Instead of getting boxes from their distributors as they normally did, the shops would receive product straight from Fanatics, often with marketing requirements and data sharing agreements. A few Midwest shops reported getting allocations of Topps Chrome directly from Fanatics under these new terms, skipping the distributors entirely. Now, why does this matter? Because if Fanatics can cut out distributors, then they're controlling the supply, the pricing, and the marketing much more tightly. This could lead to a future where hobby shops look a lot more like a franchise for Fanatics rather than an independent business. That could be a shift in the way the hobby is presented to the collector. Now, number 3 on our list kind of flies under the radar, but it's a really smart move. Fanatics isn't just buying companies, they're buying relationships. Over the last couple of years, they've quietly brought in former Topps and Panini execs, along with some of the biggest names in the hobby, to help reshape their live commerce strategy. On the breaking side, Fanatics Live has pulled in major breakers like Mojo Breaks and Filth Bomb Breaks, to name a few, bringing their loyal audience to the platform to build instant credibility. Now, these are people that have spent many years on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot, gaining collectors' trust. They've also added serious leadership power. David Liner was formerly a top exec at Topps, now plays a key role at Fanatics Collectibles. And Brian Bain, who is a senior figure at Panini, has joined to help strengthen industry and athlete relationships. By blending well-known hobby insiders with experienced execs, Fanatics is giving itself something money can't buy, really. It's credibility from within the hobby. All right, number 4 isn't confirmed, but it's something a lot of collectors have started to notice. There's a growing belief that Fanatics may be quietly experimenting with print runs and allocation control. Look at some of the recent Topps Chrome releases. Instead of flooding the market all at once like the old days, products seem to roll out in smaller, more controlled waves. Hobby boxes would sell out, then suddenly restock weeks later. Allocation of breakers and distributors appear to shift mid-cycle. Now, Fanatics hasn't made any public statements about this, but if it is intentional, it's a fascinating strategy. By controlling when and how product hits the market, they can keep demand steady, avoid dead inventory, and make boxes feel more limited without necessarily changing the actual print run. And honestly, this isn't unprecedented. Sneaker companies such as Nike have done this for years with limited drops. If Fanatics can manipulate perceived scarcity, they can influence secondary prices and collector behavior in real time. That's a level of power that old Topps never really had. And finally, this move is easy to miss, but it might be the biggest of all: global expansion. Fanatics is already a global sports merchandise powerhouse, and now they're leaning hard into cards. For example, in late 2024 and into 2025, Fanatics began streaming Fanatics Live events in European time zones, with soccer and NBA products and offering pre-order windows on their UE and UK sites. But that's only part of the story. April 2025 marks something even more tangible. Fanatics Collectibles opened its first European flag store on Regent Street in London. The opening drew big names like Formula One legend Lewis Hamilton, Fanatics CEO Michael Rubin, and Topps David Liner. It features a huge retail space, a breaker studio for live streaming, signing events, and even a card customization room. Fanatics is also targeting Asia, especially for NBA and baseball content, where collector bases are growing fast. And why does this matter? Because the hobby has historically been US-centric. Expanding globally means more collectors, more demand, and potentially price stabilization for key products. It's not flashy, but it's a massive long-term play. Hey guys, so let's recap what we just saw here. Fanatics is taking a lot of steps on multiple fronts, quietly and under the radar. So first we have authentication and grading. Second was distribution shakeup. Thirdly, strategic insider hires. Fourth, print run manipulation. And finally, global expansion. While none of these dominate the news and make the headlines, altogether though, they make a strategic move so that Fanatics can build their brand. So which of these quiet moves do you think will most affect Fanatics going forward in the future? Drop your comments down below and let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please feel free to like, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. So until next time, we'll see you as we go beyond the cardboard.